What up, everybody? Just wanted to say a big thank you to everybody who's supported Lockdown Universe for the past 3 years. I really appreciate you. And if you've been thinking about a way to support, but you didn't have $1.99 to support for each month, that is okay. If you want to just buy me a coffee, there's an option for you to just buy me a coffee inside the description of each episode moving forward. So just highlight that, put it in your browser. You can go right there and buy me a coffee or 2 or 3. I like coffee. Who doesn't? And I would really appreciate it. And it would keep me awake enough to make more podcasts for you guys. So I would appreciate that. And just wanted to let you know. Thanks for that. And thanks for supporting the podcast. Let's get to the show. What up, what up, what up? Welcome back to Lockdown Universe, home of the bizarre, peculiar, and unheard of stories of UFO, legend, and paranormal lore. Welcome back, welcome back. Happy to be back. Hopefully you guys are doing excellent and taking care of yourselves. Today I want to talk to you about a interdimensional alien that Emery Smith performed surgery on, and how exactly that went down and what he has to tell us about it. So, one might ask, how the heck could you perform surgery on an interdimensional being, right? It would have to be in the third dimension. It would have to be something that you could cut into physically and touch physically. Most people would say interdimensionality would be impossible to touch. An interdimensional creature could phase in and out of our reality and be untouchable. However, Emery tells us of this being that was brought into his lab by the government one day, and as you know, Emery did surgery on up to 3,000 different tissue samples and species, and he stated that one day they wheeled in this 6-foot-tall, very translucent, as he stated, looking through clear jello-like being. Very jellyfish-like in nature, however humanoid, meaning it had arms and it had legs, but the feet didn't really resemble human feet. It resembled more of like a jellyfish, like tentacles in nature. So, as he was performing his surgery on this particular creature, as you know, surgery, the information that these surgeons receive is very limited, right? They're not told where these creatures came from, where they were found, what characteristics they have. They're simply told as surgeons to cut out this certain section, and that is all they require from them. What Emery noticed with this being was that it had very large eyes, and in the clear section of the body, which was the entire body, there were multiple sections that had glow to them, different colors of glow, almost like you can imagine a bioluminescence of a creature in the sea washing up onto the shore. As we all know, there's different shores that have pink luminescence, green luminescence, blue luminescence, little creatures of the sea. That's exactly what this case is, except on a 6-foot-tall being. And so for the heart, for example, it would have a pink glow to it. For other organs, it had blue and green and orange. And even into the brain, it had different colors to it. So Emery stated he was clearly told, and specifically told, not to cut into the glowing areas, to simply cut a certain segment out that was a clear segment, to place it in the examination collecting plate, and to be done with the body for the day. That's exactly what he did. He performed his job admirably, and was done. However, he did want to ask what was going on with this creature and what happened, where is it from. However, he, of course, did not, because that is a big no-no. However, when he cut into this creature, what he did notice was, as he was making his incision, where he made his incision, it would glow almost as if you were breaking a glow stick and shaking it. If you ever been to the raves in the 90s, you would know, right? You crack these these little glow sticks and you use them to rave around. That's exactly what happened. He cut open, and as he cut it open, it was almost as if the glow stick was just going along the incision line. It was fascinating. And so, aside from the surgery, what he believes this entity was actually an interdimensional being that came into the third dimension where we are and simply got trapped and ended up passing away for whatever reason he does not know, while in the third dimensional body, because he had never seen another body that was like this his entire tenure of doing surgeries and cutting open bodies. He also felt like that this body probably wouldn't be able to sustain itself in a third dimension for very long, just due to the jelly-like nature of it and it really not having any bones. He noticed no bones, no skeletal structure, nothing to hold this entity really into shape. Almost like if you imagined a jellyfish or even an octopus. They're made of pure muscle. They can squeeze into a size of a quarter-sized hole. I've seen it personally. It's amazing. So this is Emery's idea. This is Emery's theory, and he is aware. This is not just a theory, but he is aware and has been told of the fact that there are interdimensional creatures, interdimensional entities, I should say, that can flow into the third, the second, first dimension, and then go all the way up through the 9th and 10th and 12th, 13th dimensions. So he states that these entities are made of pure light and that they can think and therefore they are, right? Like the famous quote, I think, therefore I am. These entities can create at will, so if they wanted to create a body where they could experience the third dimension and maybe come to Earth, they could. And he feels like maybe this entity simply passed away while in the third dimension, and maybe the entity's soul had moved on. You know, it was just a temporary vehicle, right? Like a shedding of a skin of a snake. So this is Emery's theory on this particular entity. He stated it was, like I said, completely translucent, with certain areas of the body and organs glowing in different colors, pinks and blues and oranges. Fascinating. And again, this is I believe it was in the second episode of Cosmic Disclosure. If you want to look at it, you can listen in. I mean, and it's truly fascinating because after watching all these episodes, there's things you miss. And they may be only a minute long, but there's a world of story within it. I mean, a galaxy of story within it, right? I mean, this particular entity may have come from a galaxy far, far away and lived in millions of years. Their species may have lived millions or billions of years, and we only have one. Yeah, I mean, it's just like totally, totally fascinating, and I just absolutely love going through these episodes and finding these little jewels and bringing them to you so you can contemplate what you think these entities are. Is it possible that this entity could have been from Earth? That they found it in the ocean? That it washed up on the sea? That's a tough one, I think. I think you really got to examine that and say, have we ever had something like that wash up on the shore? To me, I've never heard anything like that. That would be akin to something closer to like mermaids and mermen. However, those have always been represented as being more human-like, right? And so we don't really hear about those entities too much. We typically hear about, fish, whales, larger creatures, things like that, but not anything that's translucent in nature, other than maybe a jellyfish. But again, this was like a humanoid. So either it was a translucent a trans-dimensional entity that came into the third dimension and just needed to create a body for itself, or it was a true alien that came here from a ship that was not a trans-dimensional creature, but something that came here on a ship. And there have been stories about aliens that resembled octopus and fish-like creatures that have met in the business center off of Jupiter with other species and have come inside of containers of water. So they'll be inside of a container of water and they'll communicate while they're inside the container of water telepathically and run deals in this. I can't remember what the acronym is for it, but there's a business center outside of Jupiter, according to Randy Kramer. So if that's true, it is possible that this creature could have come to Earth in a container of water, in a ship, and we just happened to obtain it from a crash ship. I don't know what to think. There's many possibilities, or we created it. If we created it, would we really need somebody to dissect it? Probably not, right? We would have done that in our own lab. If this is a creature that needed to be dissected in a fully sterile room where no bacteria, no viruses could get out, then this would be the place to do it. Because Emory states that this place is 100% clean. They have AI technology that was there back in the 90s and the 80s that could sense if there was any holes, any rips, any contamination threat within the suits. And these beings would be wheeled into the examination room that the actual surgeons would be outside of. Remember, you can envision this in some of the sci-fi movies where they have the gloves that go inside the glass box or the plastic box and they can manipulate whatever they need to manipulate. That's exactly what Emory uses. However, he's in a full suit. He's not just using the arms. He's in a full suit and then going and doing his surgical examinations and cuts. And then he's actually in the room. He's not like outside of the room. So it's very fascinating, to listen to. And it's a very fascinating story. And I don't know where it's coming from. I don't know where this entity comes from, but it is really, really fascinating because it's one of a kind. And I haven't heard of one of these yet. And those are the little, the morsels, those really special stories that I like to bring forth. Because I've been doing this for such a long time, I only want to bring forth some of the good ones. And this one's really good. So, I hope you enjoyed the translucent, trans-dimensional, interdimensional, jellyfish-like creature that Emory Smith examined and performed surgery on. I hope you enjoy the podcast continually. I hope you're taking care of yourselves physically, spiritually, emotionally. Keep that white light around you. Heal yourself. Heal others. Bring your light and your love and your positivity and your love for your hobbies and your goals and your dreams to others so that they can learn from you. They can bring your characteristics into their life and make it their own. And that way we can move forward and we can continue our passions in the future generations. And as always, continue to question the universe around you. Until next time, guys, take care and Lockdown Universe out.